Hi, it's Carol. And normally you'd be seeing a really great intro to our video today, but when we were on our trip in Austria, I forgot to hit the record button on the camera. So I'm going to tell you that we just docked in Linz, Austria. We are still on our AmaWaterways river cruise on the Danube, and we had our choice of 2 excursions today. We could have either gone to Salzburg to see some of the sites where they filmed the movie The Sound of Music, including the Abbey where Maria and Captain von Trapp got married, or you could get on a bus and go to a 5th country, the Czech Republic, to a little medieval town called Český Krumlov. Well, Laura, Pepper, and I all unanimously wanted to go to Český Krumlov, so that's where we're going to be heading today. We're going to see a little town, cobblestone streets, a castle, a moat, and even some bears. That's right, they have live bears that protect the castle. So come with us, it's time to head out to the bus.
So this is the way it's going to work today. We got off the ship and we got on a bus. It's a really nice bus, and we're going to drive about 2 hours to Český Krumlov. We're going to tour that town and then get back on the bus, come back to Linz, and then we have a walking tour in Linz this afternoon. This is a 5-star all the way, so the bus is really nice and we can't wait for a relaxing ride.
The entire town of Český Krumlov is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Nestled in the South Bohemian region of the Czech Republic, it dates back to the 13th century and is known for its well-preserved medieval architecture, winding river, and fairy tale charm. Even just driving in, we could tell this place was something special.
Well, we've made it to Český Krumlov.
So excited. Our tour guide just told us that there are 3 brown bears that live at the castle, and because it's going to be kind of sunny today, there's a very good chance we might see them. So fingers crossed.
As we made our way through town, we were struck by the beauty of the surroundings. The stream winding through the town created the perfect backdrop as we walked uphill toward the historic center.
Our tour guide took it easy on us, and we reached the Cloak Bridge, the covered corridor that leads to the castle. Its grand arches were once part of the town's fortifications, and now it's one of the most iconic landmarks in Český Krumlov.
Right past this iron gate, we were greeted with a breathtaking glimpse of what was to come.
We climbed up a sloping hill to the very top of the castle, and we were greeted with this most amazing view of Český Krumlov. You can see the church and a tower and the river. This is the historic city center of Český Krumlov. So beautiful. This just looks like a fairy tale. Pepper pointed out that the beer garden down there has Budvar on there, which is the beginning of a Budweiser beer. It's all about the beer.
This is the Baroque theater in Český Krumlov, one of about 3 or 4 in the world that are still standing, because Baroque theaters used fireworks during set changes, and they often caught the building on fire because they were made of wood. This theater is very simple at the bottom and gets much more elaborate up at the top, just like it does in a lot of Baroque churches, and they used all kinds of sound effects and things. Pepper, you want to talk about those?
The sound effects that they used in here were really inventive for the times. They created things to make thunder and wind and rain sounds. So they probably created a lot of opportunities for people to learn how to do that from here. I was also going to say, still to this day, people may not realize how serious theaters take fire. Entire separate crews are brought in, licensed people are brought in, even for concerts, regular concerts to theater. Fire is a very serious thing, obviously, in a theater.
After the theater, we crossed the bridge where we spotted several replica statues lining the path, giving us a glimpse into the grandeur of the past.
Just on the other side, we stepped into the castle courtyard, surrounded by stunning Renaissance frescoes. These murals weren't just decorative, they were commissioned to impress. Artists were brought in from Italy to paint the walls, blending Czech history with Italian artistry in a truly dramatic way.
So we just learned that in this courtyard, this is where the nobility lived, and they always lived on this side of the courtyard because it's south facing and it gets the best sunlight. It also has the best views of the town from this side, and they always lived on the very top floor because they were the nobility. So of course they had to live above everybody else.
Parts of this castle use the trompe-l'oeil effect like we saw in Cannes, France, but this part uses a scratching technique. They put one layer of plaster over, let it dry completely, and then put a fine layer over the top and scratch into it to create the relief.
As we walked through the castle grounds, we kept catching glimpses of the Český Krumlov Castle Tower, one of the town's most iconic landmarks. It dates all the way back to the 13th century, though it was later renovated in the Renaissance style. You can even climb to the top for sweeping views of the town and the Vltava River below.
Here in the castle, they had a grenadier guard, elite soldiers who protected the Prince of Schwarzenberg. And right here, you can still see 3 of their original cannons on display.
All right, our tour guide just let us know that it is time to see the bears. So excited about this. They had bears that lived in the moat to help protect the castle, and they still live here today. There are 3 bears that live here. I don't know if it's the 3 bears, but there are 3 bears that live here. So the bears have lived here since the 1600s, not these specific bears, but he did say that the bears that do live here live longer average lifespans than other bears. This bear is 33 years old, when sometimes they only live to be about 25, 26. So the bears are vegetarians. They eat a lot of vegetables and honey, and they love marmalade just like Paddington.
The town people donate marmalade to these bears at Christmas on the 24th of December.
Okay, we can go home now.
Okay, that one is a big bear.
I've seen everything I need to see. We can go. Oh my gosh.
Oh, he's eating.
Yeah, he's chowing down. This guy's checking out what's left over on the ground here.
He's super active.
Really scaring the pigeons away.
Well, the weather didn't hold out for us. It started raining here in Český Krumlov, but thank goodness we've got our rain jacket, so we are going to stay nice and dry today.
These rain jackets have saved us so many times at this point. They are fantastic.
Despite the rain, we enjoyed wandering through the narrow cobblestone streets of the historic center, admiring more of the sgraffito artwork on the buildings and catching glimpses of the river winding through the town.
Okay, it is really coming down now. We are on the Barber's Bridge. Whew. It is really raining pretty hard.
Lunch came just in time to get out of the rain for a while.
We just had a delicious lunch here in Český Krumlov. We ate at this restaurant right back here. I had another schnitzel. The pork
Schnitzel
chop.
tour continues.
I still had a schnitzel. It was thicker than what we got in Germany, and so I really enjoyed that. It was delicious. One of the best things that I had, though, was that they had homemade lemonade with oranges in it. It was delicious.
Carol and I started with a cream soup with potatoes and mushrooms and sour cream in it. It was so delicious. And then I had a traditional beef dish that came with like a creamy beef sauce and cranberries and whipped cream on it.
Yeah, very good. I had a beer and roasted duck, and it was really good. The sauce was great, a lot of garlic and thyme, really tasty. I got bad news, those guys. It was like 1,400 and some Czech crowns, which is not that much.
Not that much money. We're going to do a little shopping now. We've got about an hour free time on our own, and then we're going to get back on the bus and head back to Linz.
So we hit one of the jewelry stores and we got ourselves some Moldavite jewelry. I got a ring and a pendant, and Carol got a pendant. It was actually fairly affordable, and it's in silver, which is what we really like anyway.
And the guy who helped us out was so nice. We went to Gallery Mozart Collection. And so if you are ever in Český Krumlov,
come to this stop.
Yeah, check it out. So it has officially stopped raining now, and I think it just made this town even prettier because now the cobblestones are shining and wet. We're gonna actually get to stop and see some of the things that we couldn't tape earlier because of the rain.
We did a little more shopping as we wandered through the town on our way to the steps of the church.
Other dogs are okay, but schnauzers are not. Poor guys. So here at the Catholic Church, like at the center of the town center, is a church that goes back to the 1400s, and we're going to go inside and check it out. They ask us to be quiet and not to film, so there may not be any footage of this, but this is beautiful the way it sits here, and you can tell it's been here a long time.
So that was a Gothic church, and it was really, really pretty on the inside. We weren't allowed to film, but we were allowed to take some pictures, so we're going to throw them up here for you. We're glad that we climbed the hill to come and see this.
After the church, we headed back down to the town square.
So our guide taught us something really interesting about this tower behind me here. It's actually something that the village built after the Black Plague. The Black Plague came through the village, and they built it to celebrate the people that survived the illness and also to prevent it from coming back into the village ever again. And our guide said that it worked because they haven't had the Black Plague ever since. They also call it the Marian Tower because at the very, very tip top is a statue of the Virgin Mary. So we couldn't resist stopping by the candy shop on our way back to the meeting point for our tour, and we got some fudge, some chocolate covered strawberries, and
they had all kinds of different gummy candies. We got giant gummy bears and some gummy sour frogs. It should be very interesting. Carol and I absolutely love gummy candy.
We're going to try these on the bus ride back to the ship. We've got about, an hour and a half drive to get back. And then I think we're going to skip the walking tour in Linz. We're just really cold and damp from the rain showers today. So we're going to go ahead and stay on the ship. They do have afternoon tea, which you know that we love. So we're going to do some afternoon tea and relax before our special dinner tonight.
Just as we headed out, soaking up our last moments in Český Krumlov, the rain started falling again. But honestly, it only added to the atmosphere. Wandering through this charming town in the rain felt like something out of a storybook.
Okay, so we have made it back to Linz, and we are about to board the AmaWaterways for the rest of the afternoon. But before we do that, what was your favorite part today of Český Krumlov, Laura?
So I don't know if my favorite part was the castle or the little jewelry shop. That was kind of cool. We got ourselves some jewelry in Český Krumlov, Moldavite, and that is actually a meteorite that hurt the earth 42 million years ago. So that was really cool. Or the little town square was really quaint and super cute.
How about you, Pepper?
Yeah, I like how everything was so compact and so built in together, and it was really just a throwback. I mean, it's what you think of when you come to Europe is like, we're going to go to a small medieval village. This is exactly what you think of in your mind if you've never been to one. And of course, the bears.
The bears were so cool to see. I think my favorite part was the castle. It really did feel like you were walking through a fairy tale. The village was so picturesque as well. It's definitely a place that we're going to want to come back to sometime. If you ever get a chance to go to Český Krumlov in the Czech Republic, you should take that chance because I fell in love with that place. So we are not going to do the Linz walking tour. We are going to go back on the ship and do some afternoon tea and maybe dry out our feet a little bit. We had a lovely, nice, relaxing afternoon sitting in the lounge, reading our books and enjoying some tea and some sandwiches. Sorry we didn't film that, but we were just taking a little bit of a break. And now we are all dressed up because we are going to the chef's table for dinner this evening, and we are going to go up to Sip and Sail now to find out what is on the agenda for tomorrow and have ourselves a cocktail.
We're at the chef's tasting. This is this quaint little room at the back. You can actually see what the sous chef's doing in the glass right over there. It's definitely a tasting menu with paired wines with each course. Looking very forward to it.
The chef's table is a truly amazing experience. The menu is thoughtfully curated, beautifully plated, and paired with regional wines. It feels like dining at a high-end restaurant, but with the relaxed elegance of river cruising.
The best part? The chef's table is completely included in your cruise fare. There's no extra charge. It just takes a quick reservation when you check in. It's such a thoughtful touch that AmaWaterways includes this kind of elevated experience as a part of the journey.
All right, folks, we just finished the chef's tasting here on the Amalea for our AmaWaterways dinner cruise. It was an amazing dinner. What was your favorite part, Laura?
So every course was delicious. I even liked the soup that had a coconut milk in it, and I do not love coconut, but it was delicious. But hands down, I think the entree was my favorite. It had a piece of steak, some octopus, some of the most amazing mashed potatoes I think I've ever had.
I wanted a bowl of those.
It was absolutely delicious.
What about you, Pepper?
Well, it's hard to say. Every step of the way was really amazing. And of course, they took care of us on the wines. We had pairings.
Service was amazing.
I'm going to say the chocolate at the end with the red wine is probably the way to go. And I want to say this is a special thing Ama does. AmaWaterways gives you an opportunity to have this chef's dinner one night during your cruise. And there must have been, 15, 16 people in there?
Right.
Very small
Intimate,
group.
Absolutely. For me,
So, cheers to Ama.
For me, my favorites were probably the soup was delicious that Laura was talking about. It had shrimp in it and coconut and lemongrass, and it was just so much flavor. And then the dessert, the chocolate dessert was a highlight for me that I'll be thinking about for many years to come. So it is one of the reasons that we love to cruise with Ama, because this is all included in your cruise fare. It is fantastic.
You know, they talked all about the chef tasting when they came home from their first Ama cruise, and this is the first time I've gotten to experience it, and I can see why they raved about it for so long.
All right, so now we're heading over to the lounge for some entertainment. Cheers! Cheers!
Traveling in a van combi. I love this song. Hitting a trail that's full of zombies. I met four lovely ladies. They made me nervous. They took me in, they gave me breakfast.
Tonight has been an amazing night again on AmaWaterways Amalea.
We have had such a wonderful evening with the dancing and the music and that beautiful chef's tasting dinner. Just a spectacular evening.
Today was fantastic, even though it stormed and rained on us the whole time we were in Český Krumlov. I highly recommend that town.
And we are so looking forward to tomorrow, where we go to Dürnstein, Austria, and have some delicious apricots and wine tasting. And we also get to do some scenic cruising along the Wachau Valley. So that's going to be something that we are really looking forward to. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to catch you next time right here on Core 4 Adventures.
Bye.